Hello, this is Eric Wood. I'm with AI Appointment Booker, and I want to kind of show you some stuff that's uniquely mine and simpler than anybody else that does this. So I'm going to show you how to do inbound calls that will be calling in to maybe a plumber or some type of wellness place, haircut place. The AI will pick up, answer it, and then schedule it electronically. And so I want to take some time and say again, this is uniquely mine. So you want to watch from the start to the end, or you're going to miss some stuff. I want to kind of talk about what makes mine unique and sets it apart. So YouTube and other people's processes of tools. And basically, they'll make lots of tools for each of these things in blue and even the ones in orange. Usually this is the boxes tend to be different tools from each other. And the orange calendar integrator tends to be a different tool than the others. So normally you call in on a phone line the way that they want you to do it, and you go in through the SIP trunk, and now you're into some AI tool that's going to handle voice. And this voice is going to have phone integration. It's going to have some AI, and then you're going to pick the voice. The AI is basically a LLM, meaning OpenAI or Claude or some of those AI tool vendors. And so that tool can be VAPI, it can be retail, it can be, anyway, the list goes on and on. And so they'll, through the internet, they've got to somehow know where they want to go, the URL. And usually they're going out a webhook of sorts, and they've got to know the API key of the tool that they're going to. And so normally they're passing thing about based on the conversation, what was the appointment type, the time zone, and that's got to go into the logic, the workflow. And so this to be like there's lots of vendors for this as well. ADN, Make.com are probably the two most common. You've got things like Zapier and others, and typically they'll look like this when people talk about it. And this is probably the cleanest one that's and most fully featured appointment type thing that I've seen. But it's still lots of work and lots of interactions, and you've got to learn in ADN or you've got to learn Make. And so you're going through this. So now let's say that you've gone through the logic, and now people put into Google Cloud, their database. And the reason they're doing that is just for storage and looking for availability that way. That's, of course, a horrible way to do it because you're really writing an appointment type. You're using a calendar. So you want to actually do the upper box, the northeast corner, which is a calendar application that's one of them amongst many, whether it be Google Calendar, GHL, something else, doesn't matter. And then once you write it into the calendar, you want to be able to retrieve back and forth on it, whether it's available, the time slot that the customer wants, or indirectly. You've got to know, in essence, which ones are taken so that you know what are available. You want to know it to the CRM so that you can then do other electronic procedures on it. But a lot of times when you're going into the calendar type stuff, sometimes people will go into a calendar integrator in addition. So that'd be like Calendly.com, others. And so all those are tools for that. Anyway, my point is it's tons of tools, tons of kind of massaging things, getting things to work, making sure, these hooks. And the green clouds represent the internet. So every time you're going from a tool, now you're going over the internet to go to another tool. And then, of course, you have cost. Each of the tools cost money, usually per month, and have usage cost. All right. So most people do way too much, and what I do is just GHL. So go high level. And all right, so let's talk about how I do this. So I had a problem that what I was going to do is I had this particular customer here in the Dallas area and potential customer, and I wanted to make them a demo of a working phone number type thing that you could call and then answers and things, but I could demo it to them. So I'm setting this up under my account under GHL and just kind of going from there. All right, so let's talk about this. How do I do that? So I start off with some, I buy the phone number like I talked about, and I'm under settings, phone numbers when I did it. And then after I bought the phone number, basically then I go back to my staff and I'm going to add body in there. And when I do, I'll do that and kind of show you what. So I've got fake person. Okay. And then you notice that this has got a drop down for calendar, but we'll leave it blank for right now. And what it's going to do is it'll create a personal calendar for fake. So it'll automatically create this personal calendar. And then it will select fake as the person, the team member, that calendar. And unfortunately, it doesn't set this little setting here. But anyway, let's go on to roles. So we set this to user, and that's probably the critical thing that you're most likely to overlook. You want user. I have no idea why they default to admin, but they do. That's just crazy. Idiots for doing that, but anyway. And you can set up user availability, although it really doesn't matter here because it doesn't transfer into the calendar like I would love it to do. Again, another oversight. And so I'm going to save this. So Mr. Person is going to be out there. So I go back. And of course, it's not refreshed. That's yet another bug that they've got. So you either have to wait quite a while or, clicking onto other things and coming back, or you got to go refresh your browser screen. And of course, it takes a while in GHL, which is just terrible. But all right, so here's the fake person. So we built them, they exist. And so if we go to calendars and we go down and we see this new fake person's calendar. I did not create this, just to reiterate, it was automatically created. And so let's go look at it, what was created. So they basically got created with the custom URL. And then you notice that they assigned here the fake person to be the team member that's really there. So let's go to the next one. Availability. Here it matters. It's going to flow into how things are done on the voice appointments, when it will allow stuff and things like that. However, if I did the availability on the staff member, it does not transfer to this personal calendar for some reason. And I've never figured that out. Maybe it would. I really don't know why they don't. And so you need to set whatever availability they've got with. And perhaps the things you're most likely to overlook is you need to set up how you're going to deal with cancellations, reschedules, or it's going to be notification in the app, or we're going to email them. And I would recommend probably emailing. You just flip on that to turn it. And then who should get it? Is it the person that called in, or it's that I've canceled? Is it the assigned person? And then assign different additional emails, which is just kind of, I don't know why that's by default turned on. But anyway, so we'll say that it's to both if you're doing that. And The green means it's been turned on, basically. And so you keep going through and set these up, but basically you want to make sure at the very least scheduling is turned on. And okay, go with that for now, but you'll do it in according to your own special thing. All right, and that's basically, let's go back to this and availability. There's the slots. So this one's important. We want to make sure that these are really what they need to be. Are we going to allocate an hour for appointments, or how are we going to do that? That kind of depends on the business and how things are done. Okay, now we're into pretty much our final deal, and that is a voice agent. So let's set that up. Basically here, I created this lingual one. Let's step through it and create another one and just show you. You want to pick your language first because it changes these options and the drop down options. So I have Declan as the first one. I got multilingual. It warns me that I'm going to probably have a different list, and Declan is no longer there. And so there you go. And what time zone? Of course, this is critical for you. We're talking about scheduling appointments. So you want to get that right, and you want to have it inside their business. It is their time zone for their when you do the sub accounts. And you'll want to obviously redo the business name and the initial message down here. And let's go to the next. All right. So we're on goals, and this is probably the most critical screen that there is, and you really need to get it right. So what we're going to do is, you can see that there's basic mode. We plan to grab their name, their email address, and contacts issue. So, okay, and actually we expect them to do that. You have to click it to do it. So what we're going to do here is go to advanced mode. And it warns you, once it's created with this, you can't switch it back to basic. Big whoop-de-doo. And it's got this horrible prompt here that basically gives the name again, keeps back the business name, and then some instructions. Those can be okay. And then tools for handling things. And then it's got just script instructions, and all it's got is a prompt callback. So they're not even assuming that this voice agent is for scheduling. So they don't even know that. So of course that's totally what we don't want. And so you'll basically, what I did was to deal with this, I went back to their website, remembered copied their URL, and then I went to a Perplexity, and when I was in here, I asked them to write a knowledge base for this and gave the URL. And so then that gave me a great tool for knowledge based. So it gave me not only frequently asked questions, which that it scraped off the website, but it does kind of company overview and what are the services, what are our credentials, things like that. So I found great, was really ecstatic with it. And I also told it to, hey, can we make some more FAQs? And feel free to look online for other examples. And then it came up with some more. And so I could go pick and choose, because their FAQs, there was only about 5, and I wanted to have a number more. So that feeds into the prompt. And so let's show you the prompt. It's probably the easiest thing to do. Let me cancel this one. Confirm. It still made it for some reason. I don't know why All right, so let's go into the real one, and I'll show you the prompt I used. All right, and I added an assumptions section that I always use. Here in the US, we deal with time as though there's two of them that are 12-hour blocks, AM and PM. So we don't tend to use military time except for the military does. So I wanted to make sure that it's clear on what that is, this hours, and then whether to assume it's AM or PM, and then also assume what year and with invalid dates up front. And then this is actually the instructions is straight from Go High Level, one's straight from Go High Level. And then here's my script instructions. And here's number one all the way down is my stuff. So determine the reason for the call. It comes down to four major questions: schedule an appointment, business information, callback, transfer. And so if it's a schedule or appointment, we need to know some things. And the reason I want to know the email address is so that we can, mail them back. If they ever say no, make sure you say restart the process and fix it, whatever's the problem. I had problems with prompts in the past. AI in the past, where I said, no, that's not it. And it ignored me for some reason. So I told it on your business information, use the knowledge base below. And then the knowledge base I stole from over here, and then changed it a little bit just to have the pound things, just to give it some type of formatting so that it knows which is indented and how, because the bolding won't carry across or any of the heading type stuff. You do 2 pounds to make it topic. Then computers also like numbers, so I did little numbers where I thought it was appropriate. And that's basically most of it. Here's the second thing that most people will fail to do properly. So you can do new actions. So you can do a call transfer, and of course, if you remember, I had transferrings allowed. And so I have it where it's, if you want to talk to a human owner in the certified notary or actual apostille, then it will transfer you to a phone number. And so I just appointment booking. And here's the critical one. You want to be able to book an appointment, and whose calendar is it going to? And so then you notice the fake persons could be the deal. And then the contact information, you want to do this a lot, email and so forth. In this case, I've got additional notes. I need to probably add a couple more of these update contacts based on what we name and so forth. Additional things just to make sure it's all golden. And let's see, anything else? Oh, let's see. So the email target's down here. And it's going to get notified once the call's done. And right now it's set to all admins by default, but you can actually have, the contacts email if they gave it. So you would do that if you wanted, and turn off the admin or vice versa or both. You can have them both. And all right, so then the last thing, this one's really weird. There's technically a drop down here. Let me get rid of that. Pause for this visit. And it doesn't allow you to select anything. It hints at it and you can't pick it. So that's obviously screwed up. But if you do the actual, you type it in. GHL for their typing stuff. But let's do that. Will not. Okay. I'll cancel it. Discard. Confirm. Go back in. Okay. So it was able to get out of there. Okay. But normally what you got a problem is that you do I have to enter +1 and then whatever the phone number is. And that's basically it. So we can demo a test if you want it. So let's do that. That makes plenty of sense. And you can kind of see what I'm doing.
Hey, you have reached Certified Notary Express. How can I help you today?
Yes. Can you tell me a little bit more about your business?
Sure thing. Certified Notary Express is based in Plano, Texas, and we specialize in fast and reliable notary services. With over 15 years of experience, our team is dedicated to excellent customer service and careful document handling. Is there anything specific you'd like to know?
Do you do closings?
Absolutely. We provide professional support for real estate and loan closing documents, ensuring everything is handled with care and confidentiality. Would you like to schedule an appointment or need more information?
Still some more information. Tell me about the 9 employment verification. Do y'all do that?
Yes, we do.
Good.
We assist with I-9 forms for employment eligibility verification, ensuring compliance with legal requirements for both employers and employees. Anything else you'd like to know?
Oh, let me schedule an appointment.
Great. Can I get your name, phone number, email, and the location where you'd like to meet?
Doe. And
Thanks.
and then my phone number is 19999 and then 9999.
Got it. So your phone number is 19999 and then 999. Could you please provide your email address?
Sure. At gmail.com.
I didn't quite catch the beginning of your email. Could you please spell it out for me?
ZED at gmail.com. Sure.
Perfect. Now, let's find a time for your appointment. How about Thursday, June 26th at either 8 a.m., 9 a.m., or 10 a.m.?
Let's do Thursday at 10.
Perfect. Let me book your appointment for Thursday, June 26th at 10 a.m. One moment, please. Your appointment is all set for Thursday, June 26th at 10 a.m. If you need anything else, just let me know.
Thank you. So that was, as you saw, pretty easy. Booked in there. And let's see. I need to figure out where they're to find the appointments. Let's go to Yahoo. I'll have some emails in there. So let's look at those. All right. So this is what and you can see the phone numbers and stuff, the transcript. So the call transcript comes through, call summary, and then, info. And then it's added a new user. And so it's telling me about a person, and because I'd added a new staff member. Anyway, you can round and see what you can find and do with this, but basically the cool thing is, rather than go through all of these hordes of steps along all these make and other things, you only need high level. and it will handle everything. So this assumes that you're just dealing with one calendar. Can handle multiple calendars, but that's a different episode. So thank you. If you like this, please press like, subscribe to the channel. I need, subscriptions. That would be wonderful. And then comment below if you have any questions or just want to talk about it. Okay. Thank you.